Studying abroad is not just about academia, jobs, and careers, but much more, like being independent, personality development, making friends globally, learning about different cultures, traveling, and many more enriching, unforgettable experiences. Hook on to our episodes of Student Spotlight and get fruitful insights about our students who share their beautiful journeys with you. Today we have Zainab from Mumbai, who has recently joined the Royal Holloway University to pursue her bachelor's degree in computer science. In addition to her studies, she has been actively involved in a lot of extracurricular activities on campus. Listen to her as she shares her reasons for choosing this course, her decision to study in the UK, and what kind of difficulties she faced while securing the admissions. So Zainab, what universities did you apply for your undergrad?
So I applied for King's University College, I applied to Queen's Mary, and I applied to Royal Holloway and two other universities.
So what exactly happened? If you could just brief that. You mentioned you scored quite less than what your predicted score was.
Yeah. So my marks were, my expected marks were given by my school. So the process of it having is like you get your expected grades from the university, you put them in for your university applications, and then according to those you'll get a conditional offer from the universities, and then they will, if your final grades are according to what the conditional offer is, you will get your place is secured. So during my time in school, I was doing my computer science and it was my main focus. It was HL. I focused my extended essay, which is like a big part of your IB board, on computer science. And the essays are graded by the by the school teachers. So they have to, whoever is teaching you basically is going to mark that. So what happened during my time was during that 2 years of IB, my teachers changed. So for the first year, I had another CS teacher, and then for the second year, I got another. And they did not know me. They were all both new teachers. I had been in that school since I was a child, but exactly during those 2 years, we had two different teacher changes. And because they did not know me, they did not know my first year marks, my second year marks in IB. My predicted grades that they gave me was a 5. Whereas according to all my grades and stuff, it was expected to be a 7.
Okay.
But they gave me a 5, and you are not allowed to see your expected grades until they have been given to you after a date. Yeah, because I did an early bird admission, which basically is you can apply in September. Usually the UK processes, you have deadline till January. I did an early bird where I applied in September of the year. I could not see my expected grades, so I did not know what they submitted, and finally when I got to see it, it was already too late. I could not change it back to a 7, so because of that I did not get an admission in King's College.
Okay, so
yeah.
So what you're saying is you made application September-October period?
Yeah.
Through UCAS?
Yes, through UCAS.
You were expecting high grades because that's how you performed.
Right.
But because of the changes in the school, your predicted or expected grades dropped.
Yeah.
And you applied to King's and other universities which require slightly higher, a lot higher in terms of grades, and that's why you couldn't get into them.
Yeah.
Right. So what made you choose Royal Holloway?
So firstly, it was my backup option because I think the Royal Holloway expected grade is 30. So I had a conditional offer from Royal Holloway. And then secondly, my brother studies here.
Okay.
I have an elder brother who studies here, so I already had I had an idea of how the university is, how the campus is, the diversity and the cultural group that goes on here. I had known that. I think also because Royal Holloway is one of the very few universities which has an actual campus in London.
Right.
Other universities are just buildings in the middle of London. It's closer to London, central London, but you don't have a campus environment there.
Right.
So you're very dislocated from everything. You just go to university. So Royal Holloway was always my backup plan, but it was still there.
Okay.
I like the university, but so yeah.
Okay. Okay, nice. So what made you choose computer science?
honestly, I was always torn between computer science and law. Like every day, even now, I'm like, I should have done law. I want to go back to computer science. It's like every day, even I change. Even my father is like, you can change to law. Still, he tells me like, change to law. I love law, but I think eventually I decided on computer science because. I've always loved computers. I'm like in my computer doing something, even if it's like making just small presentations when I was a child. So I've always been into like technology a lot. Like, so computer science has always been very intriguing to me. I was always inclined towards technology, like photography and editing and stuff. So I eventually decided on computer science. I might still do law as my second degree maybe later, you never know. But right now, I like what I'm learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how's the experience? What kind of modules do you have in the course?
So for the first year, they are all compulsory modules. You don't have an optional module yet. So the first year, they teach you a lot of like, you learn languages, you learn Java, Python, you learn about internet services, software designing. And in your second term of the first year, you're supposed to do projects like with people. You have teammates, you have to make a Python project, you have to it's a lot more practical in your second term of the first year itself. So you are already put into scenarios of like working with teammates, working with making actual games and stuff. So for the first year, it's been really new, I would say. It's a lot more learning, it's a lot more, but at the same time, they are also making you do practical stuff. So it's like you learn here and you apply it here. So it's really like fast, but it's fun and you learn a lot.
Okay. So, even computer science in India has got a good scene overall. Right. So at what point you decided that, okay, let's go abroad and study that?
Yeah.
Or why UK for computer science?
Right. So firstly, I have always been in international boards. So I've always been in that practical scenario of learning. I'm more inclined towards learning through doing practical stuff rather than just theory based. And I feel in India, as much as it is like IIT is like the best one. I feel it's so competitive and it's just so much theory that you're just put into like scenarios of learning and not having so much practical knowledge. And because I was so inclined towards practical knowledge and education for a long time, I had decided that even if I was in India, I would not have done IIT, which is normally the case with like computer science. I would have decided on like maybe a private university with a bachelor's itself in computer science. Another thing was as I was trying to decide UK, India, I was talking to a lot of Indian students in India, and I realized that like what they were doing in their final years as like projects or whatever, I had already done it because of IB.
Okay.
So my IB, whatever I did in that 2 years or like of doing IB, like the final projects and stuff, they were doing that in that third year. Okay. So I realized I'd already done a lot, not everything what they were doing, but I already done a lot of what they were doing. So I realized I was not going to learn a lot there. I would basically be repeating a lot of stuff.
Right.
So I just decided it's better if I just come to UK and like continue with my original style of learning rather than going in that theory based environment.
That's a good one, right? Tell me about your timetable here. Right
now?
Yeah.
My first term was a bit hectic, like classes start at 8 a.m. So for computer science, it's a lot more lecture based. You learn in a 2-hour lecture for everything. You have 2 hours lecture, and then every week for maths modules you have a problem lecture, so you need to solve your problem sheets and like go to that lecture and then you discuss the answers there. And then for Python and Java and these coding languages, you have online assignments that you need to submit for quizzes every week. There's a quiz every week which counts for your module final marks, and there's a big like 8%, 12% assignments every 2 weeks, 3 weeks for the coding languages. So it's a lot more theory based in lectures, and then you need to like do a lot on your own during the entire week. So you have like 3-4 lectures every week on a single module, so that's like 5 modules. Around in 2 weeks you'll have all those modules, and then you need assignments and quizzes on each and every module.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Tell me about your experience when you first came to UK. Were you nervous? Did you make enough friends? the fact you mentioned you had a brother here already, I'm
Yeah.
sure it would have helped. But apart from that, you know, how was it interacting with students? How was that first experience?
I think it definitely doesn't hit you in the very first go. Also because my process was so hectic, I was still in the like. One thing I mentioned was like I literally got my visa today and tomorrow I had my flight.
Ooh.
So it was a very fast process. I still hadn't processed a lot of stuff. I was already on the flight and I was like, okay, this is like happening. You just don't realize how fast things go. So but it was definitely new and fun. Like you literally come into an entire different country and you feel it feels very surreal and overwhelming, but because I had a brother, it was really easy for me to just settle in. Like I already had a home to go to, I would say. Most of the students, one of the thing is like you need to make yourself a home. I'd say make that feeling come, even if you're living in any accommodation, you need to like have that feeling of home. So it is difficult, but I think I had a little bit help there. Coming to a new country, I would say India and London, it's very different, but it's still very same. In India, comparatively, India is like, even though you have a home there and stuff, learning everything in UK by your own self is a very different and a fun experience. Like you need to enjoy what you're doing. It is difficult, but it's still very fun if you like put your mind to it and you need to like make yourself independent. I was very dependent on my family in India, and here it's very much independence. Like you need to do your own stuff. You need to make yourself focus on studies. It's very easy. I think one of the thing is very easy to like just enjoy a lot more than study. So which is bad. So like you have to make sure you focus on yourself. Yeah, but I think networking and you'll make friends. It's easier to make friends in university if you're just talking to people. I think I'm very extroverted, so it was very easy for me to make friends. I had with help with my brother. I already was like friends with my brother's friends, but making your own friends in different modules is really like helpful.
Okay. You mentioned about the last minute visa thing.
Yeah.
So can you throw some light on that story, right? Because you said you got the visa, next day the flight. So
Yeah.
why so much of a last minute when you planned early, right? You applied to universities quite early.
Yeah, even though I did like early bird admissions, what happened was I'm not sure why the visa process took so long, but my acceptance letter from like the CAS letter which you need to apply for a visa from the university got to me very late. Like they had already given me an acceptance letter and they had told me like I need to be here by like, let's say Thursday morning, I need to register myself, but they still hadn't given me my CAS letter, which you need to apply for the visa. So that literally came in like 1 week before I had to go. So I applied for a priority visa. Again, the priority visa was supposed, even though I applied that, it was supposed to be with me by Monday. So I had already booked a flight on Wednesday. And that did not come in. The priority visa also did not come in by Monday. I think there was some bank holidays and stuff. It got late. So the anxiety of the fact is that I did not even know if my visa was approved. Like I got a message in the morning of Tuesday that my visa was there. I had to go and collect it. So the anxiety of just going and like collecting and seeing if it, I mean, it's usually is accepted, but there's always this slight possibility of what if. And the Indian acceptance were all closed, everything was closed. So my only hope was like, I had that 2 weeks of waiting period where everyone was like, what are your plans? And I'm like, nothing, I have to just wait. Like there's no option for me to like, I just had to wait. And I had to I got my visa in the afternoon and I had a flight literally the next morning, like morning 7 a.m. And if I hadn't taken that flight, I would not have reached in the UK by like Wednesday night, and I had to register myself in person in this university by Thursday morning. So if I hadn't, I wouldn't have taken that flight.
I wouldn't have been here.
I probably would not have been here.
Wow.
Yeah, there would have been some complications.
Right.
And, right. So I think that's where I'd say like, even if you're planning a lot more ahead, there's going to be circumstances where you won't have any choice.
Right.
So just trust in the process and like have patience.
Okay.
That's where I was like.
Nice.
Yeah.
So coming back to your life right now.
Yeah.
What do you do outside your study hours?
So I do not work part-time, which most of the students here do. I do not work part-time yet. I usually spend, so because computer science is a more your own course, you have to learn on yourself, and like do stuff on your own. It takes a lot of your personal time. So I do study mostly, but also I hang out with my friends because it is still a new country. You still need to
Right.
like do a lot of stuff. So I'm usually doing stuff which I had never done in like before.
Like what? Like any extracurricular activities?
Yeah. So also there's so many clubs here. So I recently just finished my beginner course for archery.
Okay.
I used to do rifle shooting in India,
Okay.
but there's no rifle shooting courses around London itself. So I shifted to archery and I completed my beginner course in university. So this university has a lot of sports clubs and like a lot of different clubs. Like even if you think about like what if there's an anime club, there's an anime club, there's arts, there's horse riding, everything if you want to try. So if you want to try stuff, it's always there. Like it's not like you have to pay a lot also to join a club. You can just show up to events. If you see a event happening and if you are interested, you can go and try out and meet new friends. So I think that's how I applied for like the beginner course for archery, and I got in and I was able to do like a 2-month beginner course, and from next term I can join the archery club and just continue doing my archery.
Right, Zainab, any advices or suggestions you would want to give to students who are applying to come to UK or this university or your course? Anything that comes across your mind, please do feel free to share.
I think one of the advice would be, even if you're applying early, there might be circumstances where you won't have anything in your control. So I'd say do not panic. Make sure you're like, give it your best and just keep calm. And there might be circumstances which won't be in your control. So just let things happen. Do not just leave it, but like if you know you have given it all and there's nothing you can do, just be patient and everything will work out. And I would definitely say keep a backup option always ready. Even if it's in UK, keep a backup university. In India, keep a backup university of what you want to do. Because for me, I was like, I don't know what to do now because all the university were closed and everything, and because I had a course, computer science, which is like a really demanding course in especially India. If I literally would have had to take like a break here or something. So keep backups ready and just be patient. And in the end, you just have to make sure you are having fun at what you're doing, even if it's just your course or like university. If you're not feeling like you are not happy with it, always make sure to like talk to your university. I am very sure universities have a lot of good, especially well-being clubs. So even if you're not happy with anything, you can talk to your personal tutors and make sure you are getting what you want, because it's a 3-year, 4-year course. So like just make sure you are comfortable in what you're doing. And in making friends, I'd say join a lot of clubs. Like there's no restriction in what clubs you want to join. So like even if you want to join every club, try out new stuff. You will make friends. Like the easiest way to make friends is to join in clubs. And I'm not saying you join clubs when you are in UK. Once you get your acceptance letters, you'll find Instagram pages of all these clubs even when you're in India. So just join these clubs, talk to people while you're still in India. Like I communicated with a lot of like Islamic Society members while I was still in India, just to make sure what is going on the university, what will help me when I'm back there. So join clubs even when you're back in India. You have Instagram nowadays, so like just talk to people, make friends while you're still in India, and then you can meet up when you're here. So just join a lot of clubs, like make sure you're out there even if you're introverted.
Alright Zainab, thank you very much. That was quite insightful. Thanks for joining us for this episode of TSS. If you enjoyed what you heard, be sure of sharing it with other students and leave us a comment. Your feedback helps us continue to provide valuable content to students everywhere. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the world around you.